Sorry, folks, I'm a little behind trying to get my shit together, and we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy freaking New Year. And you like my reindeer? This is my favorite one, though. With my Christmas hat on. Boo, boo, boo. All right. Oh, wait a minute. We got to do the last one, too. All right. It's snowing. Somewhere in the world, it's snowing. Welcome, everyone, to Anime Analyst R Us live stream from Christmas Day, coming to you from Bellevue, Florida, in the sunny state of Florida, and halfway around the world. I've got my fellow co-host, and he will introduce himself now.
Yeah, this is Hasnan Zaidi from around the world in the chilly cold weather of December from Lahore, Pakistan.
You need to adjust your camera a little bit so your head's like sticking out the top of the frame. There you go. Let's at least be equal. All right, Merry Christmas, everyone, as I said from the beginning. Today we're going to be talking about Tower of God and many other things that may have nothing to do with anime, but if you're home alone and you're checking out some anime and you got your YouTube going, you see that little streaming sign up in the corner, come check us out. And we're going to do what we like to do. We were doing a live stream and I just noticed that I messed up on the live stream. I don't even know if I can fix it. Let's just turn it off. You can see some buttons. Sorry about that, but you know what? I will make this one. See, this is hard to set all this stuff up. People don't realize the work that you have to do, and that's even wrong. So let me go back in, and I'll tell you what. While I'm doing this, why don't you give our clients out there in the wonderful world of YouTube live stream and tell them. Give a summary of Tower of God.
Okay, so like about Tower of God, so we are doing like both season today, and in season 1 we get the introduction about the characters, about the towers, and the betrayal that we see. And in second season we get to the other aspects of the tower, like the politics and how it operates. And this, like, it's not just the story of the characters in the second season, it became the story of the tower itself. And we see like the friendship is there, the love is there. I think it's just a single sided, but we see that. And then we see like how he completely transformed from one character to something completely different when she left him to die. And we see like the main character friend, he's love, like how he is now playing Rachel. She thinks like nobody knows that what she did, but he knows. But I think in the first season, like, the bad thing was like he don't know like if his friend is alive or not, and he's just like going on with the story.
Well, that is most definitely one way to look at it. Yeah, Rachel is kind of a backstabbing. I mean, because she sat with him in the beginning when he was struggling in that cave before he even searched the tower. And okay, I got it fixed. If you look now, we have a new name, and I don't mean to interrupt the story of Tower of God, but we'll get right back to it in a second here. If you look right below us, I put the new name up. We are Anime Analyst R Us. So if you don't want to say the word anime, you can just call us Analyst R Us. Just like the old Toys R Us, Toes R Us, and all the other things around the world that back in the late 90s, early 2000s, everything was R Us. Well, it made sense, but as those multi-million-dollar franchises go out, they took the name with them. So I like the name because the dash that we had in our name, without getting into long, boring specifics, the YouTube algorithm was messing with us and not letting us get our videos out there to everyone because it was cutting our name off. And that is just not cool because then it made it a lot harder for you, our fan, to catch the show because it always cut it off. And there is like 102,486, 392 anime analysts out there. And in order to make ourselves different and unique, we got rid of the dash and we put in the RS. So now we're in it. We're AARS. So I think it makes a lot more sense this way. It's a lot easier to search that way, and hopefully we'll get our live stream out there, and maybe someone will ask us a question because I'm looking forward to it. I love talking about anime. I love the Tower of God 2 season. And wow, season 1 is a lot different than season 2. Because season 1, they were only at level 20. I was thinking this tower was like, a grain silo. It had like 15 floors and that was it. This is like a 150-story tower that literally, when you get to the top, you can shake God's hand. This thing goes all the way up past the clouds. I didn't know that. Floor 20 was right at the cloud level. And that was basically season 1. And in the end of season 1, without giving away the spoiler, so I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't want the spoiler, put your hands over your ears or mute us for the next 12 and a half seconds. Rachel stabs his ass in the back just like everybody I know and my last business partner. They shake your hand in the front and stick a knife in your back while they're smiling at you, telling you how great you are, and then stab you in the back. All right, so back now that people remove their hands, we got past the spoiler. Let's get on to season 2. So now in season 2, they're above floor 20. The whole group of them got all separated out. You've got Bam, which we don't know at this point in the beginning who. Would that be considered a spoiler if I start and say who Bam is in the beginning? I mean, anybody who's watched it already knows this, but technically it would be another spoiler. But I really want to talk about it because it's the whole premise of season 2. So what do you think? Should I go ahead and say it?
Yeah, I think like the following of this show is like, if like anybody if has not seen that, it's not a spoiler anymore. Like I don't think like anybody who has watched the first season would have not watched the season 2 as of now.
Okay, well then we'll do it this way then. If you herein don't want to hear a spoiler or have not watched season 2, please cover your ears for the next 15 and a half seconds because it's going to take me a minute longer to explain it. In season 2, Valet, we do not know this till about halfway through. That's Bam, and it's the 25th Bam. So Bam does not know that he is recreated every time and then restarted to go up the tower. Most other people. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert over. Spoiler alert over. We were past it. Now, we do find out that the rest of the characters in there have to pay to be in the tower, and we're talking like you got to give up a kidney or a lung. So we're talking just to take the test, you're talking 50 to 100 grand.
Yeah, like they show like the loan sharks, that the people that are getting money for. But I was curious, like, don't you think like this is a bad business strategy to like give loans to the people that are getting killed in the chop. Like
Well,
how
no, not really, because they're after their internal organs that they can sell. So if they get killed, they just take the organs and it's no big deal. They'll make out better because if they pay for one lung and you die, they get two. It's not like you need them anymore, so they make out like a bandit. So they miss out on a few of them. But then someone dies and they get all their organs and not just the one. So then they've got, if you think about it, when a person dies, we have to pay a few. Over here in America, you basically are paying the funeral home 10 grand to die. Okay, that's what it costs to die in this country. Now, they take, if you agree to donate your organs, you're giving your organs to help other people live. Noble thing to do. I'm on there. I give my organs. I don't care. But the next person in line, the guy who gets those organs, now can sell them to medical places. Either it's to a lab or to a hospital or to a transplant. And they are getting huge money because lungs, heart, liver, kidneys, and then you've got a myriad of other parts, small intestine, all the gross things that you could talk about, makes up the human body. But each item they sell for 10 to 25 grand. So you die, you donate your organs, and the next guy down the line gets $250,000 for all the organs that you donated. Because it's not like they're donated all the way down the line. They're only donated from you to the next person. Then the money comes in. If I knew about this, I would have became a organ broker when I was young. Instead of, they're all rich. Beyond belief, because it's not like they pay for them. They give the funeral home probably 5-10 grand for all the organs, so the funeral home makes out like a bandit. I mean, how else could they all afford Cadillac things to haul your casket around in? And those are $150,000 cars. It's not cheap to have a funeral home. Just to set one up, you're talking $2 million. And how in the hell did we get on this subject? That's what happens when you die in the Tower of God. You got this whole other mess that it starts. But that's how. Oh, to answer your question, do you understand now why they
yes.
do the organ thing? All right. So there's a lot of money in it. And the part that I don't get, does that mean for the rest of their climb they have to pay that? But if they pass, how does the person get paid back if they pass? Because it's not like you don't win money going up the Tower of God, do you?
No, I don't think so. Like there is something like that, like the prizes or but like they're just trying to get to the top and meet the goal.
Well, the
And
prize is you get to live. Basically, I mean, you make it to the next floor, you live. But up around floor 35, you see they got wonderful houses. They got little space shuttles that land there. You've got greenery. You've got parks. You can work out outdoors. You have your own private room. It kind of reminds me of when I was in college. They stuffed 10 kids in a house and you got one bathroom, one kitchen, and you go through life that way. Everybody makes money except for you. And then they keep going, but you don't get to meet God at the end. You get to meet King Jihad, which he claims to be God, so, maybe that's why it got named that. Which one, what do you think? Which one's better, season 1 or season 2?
I think for me, like season one is better than the season two. Like I know, like I'm not saying like season two is not a good season. I know it's good. Like they explain the things. Like they tell you the politic of the 10 great families that have the control and like how things are going. But for me, like because I think the betrayal was in the last episodes of, and before that, like there was a good story going on, like with the friendship and like how they were competing, like how they were doing, clearing the flaws.
Right.
So I would say like I like prefer the season one more because it go to the like from it get from the story to the more things, like they have to tell you about other things that plays there in the tower itself.
Okay. I can understand that reasoning. Now, I like Julie Grace, so I like the 25th version of Bam. And although the part that gets me is how do people keep getting killed and then live? That's the only thing that bums me out about this anime. And the reason I say that, let me bring up my character list, which I should have done before, but excuse me, it's Christmas, and I kind of. Where is. Oh, man. I messed up. Where's the Tower of God? I don't want news. I want the actual tower. Okay, that's the original tower. I want. Alright, there it is. Okay, it took me a minute, and I'm sorry about that, but Christmas makes everything slow. Alright, so we got our main character's the 25th Bam. Then you got Wagner. Now, he's the one that gets killed, but doesn't die. Remember that dude sticks his hand clean through his chest. Now, normally, you're kind of dead if someone takes and sticks their hand all the way through from the back to the front, right about the middle. Now, it missed his heart, so I do get that it just went, basically, it went through his lung and kind of messed him up that way. But still, I mean, now, who's your favorite character in Tower of God? Mine's Kun. I like Kun. And I like that briefcase he had, and he didn't have his briefcase in season 2. He must have lost it. Who's your favorite character?
Okay, I have to
Ah,
remember the name.
okay. Well, you got Bam, you got Wagner, you got Kun, you got Endorse Jihad, you got Rock Wrathriser, you got Yuri Jihad, you've
Yeah,
got
I forgot. I think I would go with Con.
you
I would
like
say
him
like
too. Okay.
yes.
I do like his briefcase. I want a briefcase like that. You stick a candy bar in and you can pull candy bars out of that briefcase forever. I mean, that made Gator really happy. Rock. It made Rock really happy. And I think it's so cool that Rock can go big and small. He can make
And I,
himself a little mini Gator.
but do you remember like in the season first, like when they met on the ground, like how they formed the group and how they were like they thought like the goal is to kill the other players. But he explained them like you don't have to like fight and kill, like you have to survive.
Right.
And they formed and there they started the journey and
Now, something that gets me is the Tower of God only got a 6.7. I believe this was season 2, Return of the Prince, only got a 6.7. The original one back in, let me look and see if it gives when it was released. Okay, 2010 was the original release of Tower of God. So the ones that we watch are the modern versions of the original. I gotta stop saying I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've done a live, and it's a little bit hard to keep up with all the pages, and I kind of forgot some of the stuff I was supposed to have open. Thank God it's a Christmas special. I can get away with the delays and everything. But the original one came out July 5th, 2010, and it had a huge ranking. It was ranked, popularity was 39. That's how big this thing was back then. It was ranked at 239, and it had a score of 8.37. So the original story most fans would agree with you. Season 1 is the better season. Because that's where they give all the backstory and you get, you're introduced to all the characters. And I agree with you, but I don't. I love season 1, but I like the action in season 2 because Bam is powerful in season 2. In season 1, he's kind of a wuss. And he's in love with Rachel and doesn't care about anything else. And he just kind of accepts everything. But he makes it. He doesn't even realize how powerful he is. But in season 2, they let Bam's power come through. They recreate him as Jewel via Grace, and he is one powerful dude. Now, the first season... Season 2 is the workship battle. Let me go back to season 1. Okay, 2 is the return of the prince, right? Yes, the one we're actively talking about is Return of the Prince. And unfortunately, even though there's 250,000 members, not enough voted, I guess. And they kind of gave it if you were on a scale 1 to 5, that would be like 3.9, 4.0, somewhere around in there, which is a little low. I mean, come on, people, it's better than that, don't you think? I mean, I do. I liked it.
But I'm not sure. Like the season one has like a million members in the group, and the popularity is 166, and they score like at 7.56 with like half a million users. But like not more. Like I think most of the people like didn't find season two like they find the season one, right?
Well, I would say a lot of people. I'm kind of looking right now at the staff of who was still on, directors, producers, those people to see what the changes were. But they definitely. Okay, in the first one, 600,000 people voted. In the second one, 156,000 people voted. So maybe you're right. A lot of people from the first that were fans of the Tower of God may not have even seen or know that season 2 is out, because it wasn't like they did it, back-to-back seasons. They skipped a couple seasons in there from season 1 to season 2. So they missed it because season 2 just recently came out, and I watched season 1 last year.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
it
think
came out in
season
2020.
yes, season one came out in 2020.
So they waited 4 years to produce season 2. And I think a lot of that stems back to when Sony bought Crunchyroll. They brought a lot of the older ones that were super popular back and gave them a season 2. So season 2 is, for some reason, in the Tower of God, I'm not sure if they followed the storyline. I would have to do some more research on the original story or the manga. What was this? Yeah, it was created from a web manga. So maybe they skipped somewhere in, because we don't know if there were floors in between 20 and where they picked it up on Return of the Prince. There's a gap missing in there of the story of what happened to get them to that point, because Rachel was playing fake that she was hurt and all that stuff from the first time, and and they said, I remember Kun talking about it, that they had been there for a while because he completely lost Bam. and it took them a while. Fug rebuilt Bam and brought him back as the 25th. So the first Bam that you and I saw in season 1, was that the 24th Bam, or were there more Bams in between? I mean, it's a Bam-alicious problem. But, you know, we will learn more as we go. We can only talk about what we can see, and it's really hard to research everything from top to bottom. A lot of times it takes our fans to help, and, you know, some different people can find different sources, and I can't read Japanese, so sometimes it's hard if I can't get a web page translated to go back and see back into the original, where it originally came from, you know, that type of stuff. It it definitely was, you know, a time frame in there between season 1 and season 2. I honestly, I do like them both, but season 1 was more of a solid story anime that they're telling. Season 2 was kind of built off of, you know, coming back and going, okay, Bam got killed, and it was a sad story, but how do we bring him? You know, it's kind of like one of them. It's kind of like a Marvel movie, if you want to get down to it. I mean, none of those superheroes ever die. And I can't stand. That's why I stopped watching TV. I mean, Battlestar Galactica came on when they did the remake. I loved that. I mean, the lead off on that was 6 hours. You know, that's good storytelling. But there's nothing on TV today. I mean, the SG series is over. They had 20 years of one hell of a great story. 5 different series followed the same storyline. But you just can't, you don't get that anymore. It's not on TV. There's no long-term projects that they do anymore because everything's revolved around how much money they can make right now. It's no longer about the story, and that's why I switched to anime, because anime is still about the story. But the problem now is we got Sony bought out Crunchyroll, so now it's a dollar thing. It's a corporate thing. If you don't raise the corporate earnings by 2, 3, 4%, then we're cutting that project out because we only made $6 million instead of $100 million. You know, you made money either way. Who cares? Tell the story. I want the story. That's why I like anime. And I like a lot of these ones that do multiple seasons. Whether season 2 is perfect or not, it's still a continuation of the storyline. And it's hard to get that anymore, but Crunchyroll in their fall season this year, they put out a lot of really good story continuing animes. Some they took the cheap way out, but for the most part, they did a good job this season of, you know, you got Arafuda, you've got Spirit Chronicles, you've got, I mean, there are so many season 2s that came out that I had a lot to watch this year. I mean, did you not enjoy this fall season? I mean, how that lineup show we did.
Yeah, I think it was good, and all the seasons, the new launches that we covered for the show, and I think like this was some bad. I think, but we wanted to do something from the last year, but we didn't get the time right. We were planning to do some like top picks for the 23, like
Oh,
the year.
well, yeah, but I mean, it's still, we got time to do it. Um, Maybe, you know what we'll do? On New Year's Eve, the last show of the year, we will do an Anime Analyst R Us top 5 anime of 2024. How's that? We've got three,
That
4 days. We'll put our list together because I know what my top 2 votes are. And there's no question in my mind what I liked and what I loved of what they did with the anime this year. And there were a lot, and honestly, were a lot that were only subtitled that I would love to see dubbed. You know, they didn't dub Failure Frame. That was a really good one. They didn't dub Grieving Souls. That was a really good one. There's a lot of anime that came out this year that just didn't cover, didn't have the dub, and for some reason, some of them are getting dubbed in German in Deutsch that I really liked. The the Angel Next Door. I love that anime, but it's only subtitled. They didn't do any dub on it. Another good one was Moonlit Fantasy. I mean, if you want to talk about anime that are on the level of where would you, just out of curiosity, you don't have to say it if you don't want to, but would you put Tower of God on in that top five list?
like if we are just doing for 2024 and like we have to talk about season 2 because the season 1 was like came in 2020,
Right.
so I don't think so like we can add season 2 in the top 5 list because we have really good animes like that did really well over the year and they hold their position.
Yeah. And let me tell you, some of the endings to the anime, they were really lame. There was a couple that I was all excited about, and the ending just, for one, didn't make a lot of sense, and two, the way they ended it, I don't know if I'm happy about Sony interfering with all this. Crunchyroll in the past, I have been paying for Crunchyroll for 6 years now, and Sony bought them a couple of years ago, and it allowed a lot more anime to get out there, but it also commercialized some of it to where it wasn't. They didn't put the effort into it that you would have seen had it not happened that way. And it's kind of difficult to say that because obviously Sony did buy them and it did change. And there were a lot of rumors that Crunchyroll was going to shut down. And there's no way someone's going to pay, the money that they paid, which I think it was around 25 million. I have to go back. I read the article when it happened, and it kind of blew my mind the amount of money. I didn't think, and I had to stop and think. There's 150,000 Americans that have Crunchyroll, and that's $15 a month per. So what's that add up to every month? You got 150. I would love to own one of these pay services. Even High Dive has got to do huge numbers, and that's a small system. That's only $5 a month, and they only have like 50,000 people that do it, but that's still good money.
I think roughly the amount came to 2.25, 2.250 million.
A month.
Yes, for
For
150,000
1
users by.
month. So multiply that by 10. What's that come out to? Or by 12. Sorry, there's 12 months in a year, not 10.
I think it's 27 million
Okay.
or maybe
So,
270 million. Maybe I'm like missing something.
well, all right. I didn't have my calculator. How much was the monthly one you said?
It was like 2.250.
Okay. And then by 12 equals. Okay, yeah, that's 27 mil a year for just what they make off of streaming service. And that
And
does.
just from US side.
Yes.
Like not we are not
Yeah,
adding the
yeah,
people
that's
that
not
are.
world. I think the world is. I think it's close to 1 million, but they don't get $15 a month. That fee is only probably it's U.S., Canada, Europe, all the Western nations is where it's expensive. What's yours was like $5 a month, right?
No, it was like $1.20 a month.
Oh, that's right, $1.20. I mean, that's a lot cheaper. And you guys have a lot of people that watch anime over there. All right, so let we're gonna do our top 5 show. So let's do this is a Christmas show, and the proper thing on a Christmas show is to look back over the year, over this year in anime, and could you do a 2-minute summary of what you've seen this year in the anime world? Would you call it good? Would you call it great? Did you enjoy all the stories? What would you say about it? If someone said, tell me why I should pay for anime and was it good this year?
Okay, so for me to came into the anime at this year like 2024, I would say like this was the good experience for me. Like before that I was not regularly watching, like I used to watch like some here and there, but I was watching some different stuff. But with this channel and the review show, we started doing some shows, and I don't think so like we have done like most of the older shows. We just stayed with that the new shows that are coming or like completed this year. So for me, like my personal experience, it was great for this year. Like we get to capture animes like from all the genres, like all the themes, and there were some old animes too. But I watched them in the 2024, so I would say like for I think there was just like one or two anime that I didn't like, and I told you about them, and these were the in the start. But as we started with the show and we keep going, so this year was good with the animes.
Okay. So if I had 2 minutes to say what I thought of anime this year in 2024, I would say this was a pleasant year because Sony now has owned it for a couple of years. So they got, it takes a year to get your shit together when you buy a new company and start formatting. They put out a lot of anime, especially in the fall. And there is a lot of well produced, well directed, well illustrated. The level of drawing in modern anime has jumped leaps and bounds over in the past couple of years. I mean, just with the advent of AI and the powerful computers that were used, the amount of stop moving, the amount of 3D that is been involved in it, because the daily life of the king, that is all computer generated, all 5 seasons, and season 1 was kind of crappy on the illustration, but when you get up to season 4 and 5 with the new computers, it's all computer animated, and you almost can't tell the difference. And I'm not trying to insult the people that made the old anime. I don't get me wrong, I still love them. And I was having a conversation with my buddy last night, and we were talking because there's a couple of cartoons that he likes, and he doesn't understand the difference between a cartoon and anime, and I can't stand cartoon. So if you want to watch cartoons, go check out what's on the top 5 list over in Japan. I'm not going to say it because it's popular, but it's a cartoon. It's not anime. Anime is a story that is told over however long the episodes are. But it's a story. It's not just made up on the fly in a meeting room. But what are we going to do this week? You know, TV releases that once they get something popular, they make 1,000 episodes. But there's no story along the whole way. You can't follow the plot. And I want a plot. I want an opening. I want a build up. I want a protagonist. I want an antagonist. I want our hero to be stuck in a spot. But I also, the one thing I don't want, which makes a cartoon, no one ever dies in a cartoon. You don't have any, you know what I mean? It's just, it's not. I just don't like it when no one dies and I'm not saying I like death. I'm just saying if you do something that looks like it just killed that character, then that character is dead. Go on with more characters. You know, if they keep coming back and then doing the same thing over and over and over. I mean, I understand how some people fall into that thing and watch it every week and it gets popular and, all that stuff. But it gets popular on name recognition at trade shows and other places around. And people don't care because they don't watch the entire thing. They only watch it by the episode. So they're not to me, it seems like they're not looking in the past or into the future. My favorite anime are the anime taken from books, from where there's an actual story that has a narration, an introduction, a chapter 1, chapter 2, it's not just, okay, well, we'll make them fight them this week and blah, 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 and guns and fists and feet and that's it, next week. I don't like that. Do you have an opinion on this, or?
Yeah, I think like there is no way we can like compare cartoon to animes or like animes to cartoon. Like there are completely different things. Like if somebody is watching cartoons and they say something like we cannot do that. So like this is where we are just doing animes. We watch animes. We have no interest in cartoons, and we try to tell people about the things like they can find in the animes that we are doing shows for.
Yes.
So we will be like back on next week with the video of the 5 top anime for the year 2024. And I think like today was the Christmas show, but I think we did a really long one. Like it is
well, it's a Christmas show and it's a live stream. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. There's our reindeer. Yay! And don't forget, when you get under the mistletoe, to give a family member a peck on the cheek, or if it's your wife or husband, make it a long smooch. Here, we'll give you another mistletoe to do it that way. So we hope you enjoyed our live stream on Christmas Day. And yes, it was a long one. We're looking at about 45 minutes, but now we are going to move this one from the live stream to the regular stream later today. So even though there's a bunch of other episodes that are still coming out, we are jumping this one ahead so I can get it in the regular folder today. So that way, if you want to go back and check it out again, and please comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and kick the bell if you want notifications on when stuff is coming out. We got a bunch of episodes that we're working on. We are changing the format of the show to we're not going to be doing live shows as our regular. We are doing filming and then generating it and putting it out on YouTube as a regular video. but we will still keep doing live shows. So don't forget to check out Anime Analyst _US at Twitter. And we are on Instagram at Anime Analyst #2. And the revamp of our name is Anime Analyst R Us. So hopefully it'll be easier for you to find. We want you to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And enjoy. You got your outro. Is there anything else? Nothing else? All right.
Okay.
We'll see you later on this week. You have a good day.